Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Single Player Let's Play series. So today, our farm is broken. There is no charcoal, there is no steam, we are SOL. Not actually though. Truthfully speaking, the only issue is that we are clogged up on creosote, which I knew was going to happen, and it has happened. So I wanted to see about possibly making this easily cleaned up, but I don't think that's going to happen. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to tear this down. As much as we just built it, I actually don't use creosote all that often. If I need it, I can always come over here and pump it out myself, because I need access to... I should probably put that... Where was it? Right here? Yeah. I need access to at least one side of our tanks here. And so I have to wonder... if we can't do... I wonder what happens if I do this. Okay, nothing. That makes sense. Because here's my conundrum, right? If I put a comparator off of these, it will tell me exactly what the level is, and that it's 15. But it won't tell me... What it won't tell me, at least, or what I can't do, is figure out a way to get that to come out of a side where I can actually use that. Unless I maybe did it, like, right here, which begs the question... do these store, or do tanks pass through redstone signals? Are they considered redstone opaque? So we'll try maybe a stack of redstone, because my plan here is to use a comparator, ideally, to see about reading values off of this guy, and using those values, we should hopefully be able to discern. I'll go and put a piece of scaffolding down here. We might hopefully be able to discern whether or not it's time to drain a tank. And if I can't do this, then we may have to re-architect this a bit. If I get a redstone signal... Okay, good. We're good then. Whenever this guy is full, we can pass this redstone signal along and down, which is all that really matters, because as you can see, I'm incredibly tight for space. But the plan here is anytime we are completely full up on redstone, we will take a fluid trash can and dump any of the excess fluids into this trash can. Mind you, I need to disconnect all these excess connections. But what we'll do is have a pump coming out. We may have to lose some... I might just have to take the hit and lose some creosote oil here. That's okay. So we'll do opposite side input, and then this side input. Actually, no, let's keep this side default, because we're not reading values off of it. And then out the bottom, output. I might end up having to get rid of a tank, just because this is taking up so much dang space. As you can see, I'm definitely struggling to just traverse this right now. But that's okay. I think we'll make it through this. Anyways, you should now be pumping out. Yay, good. So now, all of these are going to start draining again. And while you are pumping out, as soon as you hit... I guess I didn't do a subtractor on there, so that's going to be a problem. Not a big problem, but a problem. There is a thing that we could do from immersive. What is it called again? Here we are. The the redstone probe connector might be able to do this. So redstone probe connectors can read meta values off of a block, such as block state, block rotation, how full it is, how much RF is remaining in it. It can read tag data. I think they can also read state data. I'm not 100% sure on that piece. So let's see if we have enough electrum nuggets to make some of these. These are going to be getting us into Immersive's redstone wiring system, which uses these guys that I've got a bunch of. So I'm totally fine with this. We haven't even explored this yet, so that will be super fun. We're going to need some of these. And we're going to need maybe an extra set. Let's go and grab that just in case. And then we're going to need one of these guys here. So we're going to need nether quartz, electrum wire, redstone dust, and a treated slab. I believe we should have that treated slab, quartz. We already have the redstone dust. And the electrum wire. I'll just go ahead and recraft one of these back into a piece of electrum. And so now I need to reconfigure all of my machines. They're still all set to make us plates. So let's do that as well real quick. Let's just grab these out of here. So you will be gears, you will be rods, you will be wires, and you will take that. There we go. We'll head over here to the engineer's workbench. Craft up one of those guys. And we'll check out if this works. And if it doesn't, then what we'll do is, I don't need all this creosote. Again, I've got a ton in excess. So I could always go through and reduce how much I'm using right now and reduce this down to 1 tank. That way we have room for everything else. But I just want to try out some alternatives, you know? Like this guy is just really cool. Functions really neatly. And I believe we're going to need a screwdriver to configure it. So let's grab one of those. Let's see if that's correct. Yeah, there we go. Signal threshold. Oh, you don't have anything to probe either, which doesn't help. What if I put you on there? I wonder if it does have to be specifically a machine. I did not research this as much. Let's see. Redstone. Redstone wires. Redstone probe. Similar to comparators, reading how full, not only that, but they can be configured with the threshold. Perfect. I think this will, in fact, do exactly what we need, and in a way smaller configuration. And since it's able to be done vertically, we might be in even better shape there. So let's tear this stuff down. A little bit, at least. And I did give myself space back here for this kind of stuff. I just never could use it because redstone is, you know, a specific direction. While I'm down here, I may quickly move this over a block, because if it was over a little further, I'd have even more room to work in. And if you're noticing that my stuff's not charging, don't be alarmed. That's because we're not currently producing any air pressure, because all of our compressors are down, because all of our rotation is down, which isn't a big deal. So these guys are probably charging on residual, but at some point they may run out, which is not a big deal at all. So since we can do this all underground, we might be able to even set up our same system again, which would be really nice. Anyways, so let's do this into, actually here, let's do this a little more intelligently. Let's do this here with our pump. Where'd you go? Here. We will set you up to insert from here, extract to here, straight into a fluid trash can. And you will only ever get a redstone signal on this side from the bottom of you. We could do this to this. Right now, you should not be getting a redstone signal. In fact, maybe we do a test. Why don't we do a test first before we run this, like, to actually drain our stuff, just in case this doesn't work as expected. So let's do this. Let's do a threshold of 13, maybe 12. I don't need this tank to be full all the time, unless we wanted to do 14. We'll do a signal of 14 out is fine. Let's hook up a redstone wire here. And so now, you are pretty full right now, so that does not really help my case. Oh, I know what I can do. Hang on. I do have some extra fluid tanks of creosote, I believe. Unless I emptied those. I don't remember. I don't remember if I emptied those. Let's see. Yeah, I guess I did. Never mind. So, you know, funny enough, this redstone probe connector seems to be outputting a redstone signal anyways, because I was testing it, and I noticed that this guy was not going above 2,000 or 267,100 or so, and you see that same exact thing just happened. It went up, and then it went right back down. So this seems to be working as is, but in case that's just a runtime glitch that may fix itself upon next relog, I'm going to do that just in case. But yeah, this just worked. I was trying to test it, but it was already working, so my tests were kind of like, hang on, is it already working? The answer was yes, it was already working. So hooray, that was a super clean, super simple setup for cleaning this up and making sure that we're good here. So at this point, all I'm going to do is run a separate configuration for us to go through and what's the word I'm looking for? Run another pipe to set up our spout again, because I did want this running. It's not that I didn't want it to run. I just was willing to give it up if it meant that I could keep some sustainability here. So let's do the following. Wait a minute. You know, I just remembered something else too. This is something that I don't know if anyone else has noticed this when reading through the book, but I noticed it when reading through the book, and we'll talk about that building there in a minute, don't worry. Unless I misread, I can use dyes, right? So let's grab bone meal. These withered bones that I got from wither skeleton farming are great for quick bone meal. So we can do like a red and a green line, because those are like polar opposite colors, or pink, that's fine too. I don't care, just the first flower that I can quickly replicate. Delightful. And so if I remember correctly, you can actually dye pipes now. And if true, that would be very helpful. So let's unhide this. Yeah, see, you can dye them. Very, very helpful. And dyed pipes will not connect to undyed pipes. So that is the important thing here. So what I'll do is set this up and run a dyed pipeline. So you see that these two are not connecting, and then they will once I, reconfigure them. That's the only kind of annoying part here, is that they do seem to only kind of reconnect/deconnect whenever you manually do it. So maybe just put down your undyed pipeline first, and then update it later. So we'll do this. We don't want that connecting. And then we can go through and disconnect all of these again. Whoops. There we go. So you should now just be connecting to that. Yep, right there. And then what we can do is we can run you here with our fluid pump. Deconfigure that. You're not connected over there. Tell you to input here, output here. Put a redstone signal right there. And so you should start filling up. Then I can dye everything. So that way when I come down here, I look at the spaghetti mess and I can be like, oh, right, yeah, this is my configuration for so-and-so. And I'll remember, and I can actually keep on working with that. Not bad, not bad. So let me clean this up a little bit. I was going to use more of the scaffolding, but since my pipes are magenta now, I think I'd much prefer to just be covered up completely. But that was a really easy fix to a problem that I thought was going to take longer to fix. So I'm very tickled that that worked so well. We should have plenty of tuff of various different types. We'll grab those. And then we'll talk about this building over here and what's been going on in between episodes, which has not been much. It did not stream this time. So fortunately, you did not miss large amounts of content. So let's see, we'll do that there, that there. Ooh, we may just have to deal with it. I also forgot my depot, which is important. So this looks a little bit weird, but it at least works. I covered everything up with steel scaffolding this time to kind of offset the color. Okay, so everything seems to be finally set up and working pretty nicely. I do have some plans today, though, and this is one of them. This is one of the things that I want to at least show. So I've set up our mechanical crafter over here with its own dedicated windmill, just because I felt like it would make a lot of sense to do that. And really quickly, I wanted to check and see... Oh. There we go. Again, if that ever happens, F3A is your best friend. It'll reload your chunks and fix the renders for the windmills. Looks like I made this one a little bit different. I think I put those three at the very top when they should have been down a block. Whatever. But I just set this up because I had this sitting around anyway. So I figured, let me finally build up something for it. So I used more of these structured vertical clinker slabs, like I used over here. and I really like them. So I went for an open look for this one. Didn't want to close it in because it is a really big structure, but it's just for crafting. Wow, he is on the move. So yeah, it looks decently okay. I do think we're getting close to the point of needing a bridge because you can see we filled in our entire space now pretty much. Like this whole circle is almost filled in here. So I'm thinking we might need a bridge here soon to go across here. Maybe set it up over here instead because, you know, we've got our high voltage line going through here. So I am a little bit concerned about that high voltage line becoming an issue. So, there are a couple of things that I have planned for today. The biggest one is that I want to get up a logistics setup that will help us transport all the stuff we're producing over here. That means the greenhouse stuff from over there. That means the iron from in here. That means maybe some of the creosote. I'm not 100% sure about the creosote, but I want to get a way, create a way to transport items around for us because currently we don't have anything doing that, and I think it'd be really cool. So I think what I'd love to do is set up some means of little logistics cart setup, and we can walk through the little logistics mod together and kind of show off what all it does because it does a lot of really cool things. And I think that will be really helpful. Also, I've been just kind of trading and selling some of the stuff from in between episodes. That's why I've got this pile of things that villagers tend to buy because they're suckers and they'll take whatever we can get. So I've been selling stuff using the Amazon tablet a lot lately. Let's see if they're buying any of the stuff that I have in bulk. Doesn't look like it. But I've just been keeping the Amazon tablet around and selling to the villagers that become available. And so now we are doing super well on emeralds. You can see we've got 487 of those compared to only 223 diamonds. Not saying that that's not much, just saying that's, you know, definitely better than we were doing before. So let's take a look at little logistics. So little logistics has a handful of things. We've been using the rapid hoppers a lot. We're probably going to need a couple of those as well. But we are going to need... Ooh, I am in cheat mode. Not ideal. When was I in cheat mode? Oh, I think I was testing the comparators. That's right. So we need some of these vehicle chains. And the vehicle chains will allow us to link carts together, link things together in general. And we're going to need an energy locomotive. So for that, we're going to need a couple of things. We're going to need a vehicle charger. Fortunately, most of the things from this mod are very vanilla based, so it's pretty easy to get a lot of these things. We're going to need a train car. We're probably going to need a bunch of those, actually. Let's get several. Let's see. Planks? What kinds of planks do we have? Ah, that's the problem. Let's grab some birch. I don't know that we're going to need quite this many, but... better safe than sorry. They're pretty helpful to have anyways. So now little logistics again. We're looking at... so the steam locomotive will run, and you can ponder these guys, which is one of my favorite parts about all the little intercompatibilities with this mod. It's highly intercompatible. It's very nice. It'll explain the docking setups. It'll explain the refueling setups. And all the ways that you can maintain and manage them. So I'm going to be creating an energy locomotive. However, the steam locomotive will require you to fill it up with coal or charcoal. And while we do have lots of coal and charcoal, I think it'd just be way easier to keep up with an energy locomotive, personally. Let's go ahead and get some pistons. Let's grab like 4 stacks of planks and just toss those in. And let's make plenty of pistons, because I keep on having to make these, and they're not fun to make. Pistons are always one of the first things I automate with a refined storage setup. Anyways, so little logistics, energy locomotive. We should have everything now. And there we go. We're also going to need some rail. I've been picking some up from the mine shafts, as you can see, and that's been pretty beneficial. Logistics, and then we're going to need a couple other things. We're going to need at least 1 or 2, not chest barges, no, chest train cars. Here we go. Let's make 3 of those, and let's make a chest fluid, or a fluid tank car. Let's do that. Oh goodness, you are confused. That's the one thing about Pretty Pipes' terminal that is not my favorite is that I can't easily clear the recipe out, and it will try to fill in the current set of items in the grid, even if they're not the ghost items. So it's a little bit frustrating, but not that bad. Anyways, so we're going to need a way to pump fluids in and out, and I believe the fluid hopper is our item of choice here. So we're going to need probably 2 of those. And we can then do, let's see, we have the vehicle detector, we have the vehicle charger. I don't remember what all we're going to need. So why don't we... Let's see, so there's the locomotive docking rail, and then a train car docking rail. So let's go ahead and make one of those. Let's make a few of these just in case. And then the train car docking rail, if I remember correctly, this one is for like the cars that are attached to the main locomotive. So I think that should be good. Lastly, let's go to immersive and grab all of our MV wire coil. I'm going to try to set this up to charge somewhere kind of convenient, hopefully. And there we go. I think that should do it. The question is do we want to run this above ground or underground? And do I know enough about this mod to get along here, or do I need to make a book? I think I'm going to make the book. So Little Logistics has a book under here. There we go. Yeah, I figured I probably would not have a compass. That's very unlike me. So we make that. We combine that with our Akashic Tome, because that's what we do. And now we take a look at the Patchouli book here. So let's see, there are a handful of blocks. There are vessels. So there are fluid, like barges and vessels that we could use. I'm using the carts because I think that would be just more fun to set up little setups for that. That's just me. If we take a look at engineers decor as well, I've got a bunch of these that I think I could probably use, as well as some of those. Hopefully this will work out. Let me remind myself. Okay, so that's the bottom half. So let's flip all of these to be the top half of a block. That way, when I place these down, I can do that. And then I can do... Nope. I can do a rail on top. Beautiful. Okay, so looking through here, let's see. So there are trains. There is the energy locomotive, which explains will need to be docked to the vehicle charger. There is the fluid car. Fluid hoppers. Hopper for fluids can import from the top and export from the sides. Can be loaded by right-clicking with buckets. Can be used to load and unload vessels from trains and cars. Okay, so to unload, we would want the tank to be below, or the hopper to be below the cart. To load, we want the hopper to be adjacent to the cart. Okay, got it. Let's see. Chest cars are pretty straightforward. We don't need to chunk load anything, otherwise it'd make a chunk loader car. Items. No, we don't really need that. Vessels we're not going to get into yet. I think it's really just the docking rails. There are 2 types, locomotive train and car. A locomotive docking rail must always be set up in any setup. The train car docks need to be lined up in a straight line after. These rails don't transfer themselves, but communicate to the locomotive whether there's stuff to transfer and needs to wait. The locomotive can be forced to wait by applying a redstone signal. The locomotive dock can only insert into the tug. Placed beside a hopper and rail must face the same direction. The car dock, the train. Okay. Okay, I think I get it. I think I get that piece at least. So I'd love it if I don't... I think what I might do is... Let's do this real quick. Let's grab some of these guys. And at immersive, some of these. And there's also a post... No, what is it called? I always forget the name of these. The wall mounts. Let's get a couple of these. Yeah, I think that'll look good. So we do a wall mount here with a wire post there. Do I have any insulated MV wire coil? That's a question. No, I don't. Okay, that'll work. I think I saved the MV wire coil for these guys because I was making the transformers. Oh, LV. Why did I grab LVs? Whoops. Okay. Some fumbling later, and I think we should be good. So we'll put you there. We'll run you from there to there. Those are definitely not in danger. They're fine. They're fine. And so now, I think what I can do... Ooh, let's actually do the same thing, but just on the other side. Can you reach? That's a really pretty render. That's annoying. But that I have to say that is very annoying. Okay then. Well, then we'll just go for a full-on post. I don't know, like right here? That's fine, right? Because what I'm thinking is we can actually run our train through the woods here and then around the back, like so, and then run a circuit. And I don't know about those over there. I'm not sure, but maybe it'll just be a full circuit. Maybe I'll just make it one whole circle, but I definitely want the charging to be over here where it's already MV, because I would really hate to run into any issues with charging there. So when you place the vehicle charger down, whoops, you don't want to do that. You'll see that it has a little point coming out of it, and you want that point to face into the rail that you're going to be charging with. So why don't we make a little test circuit here? I really just want to make sure that I fully understand this, and then what I'll probably do is set something up after that is all said and done. Maybe we move this guy over a little bit. Get some of these flowers out of the way. Put you right there. And so locomotive docking rail will go here. And then the train cars will have to follow behind it. And so let's just do a little circle. A really odd-shaped circle. Oh, man, I'm really getting tired of the drill. You know what? Hang on. There is a... There is a conductor's wrench. Let's try for that. See if that helps with the wrench with the, Oh, that actually is pretty helpful. And I guess I'll probably just break the rails by hand anytime I need to, because this is getting pretty annoying. Train car docks can be switched from blue to wait for them to unload, to orange to wait for loading. So orange is loading, blue is unloading. That's the opposite of what I'm used to with thermal, but that's okay because they at least explain it here in this UI. So that's not too terribly annoying. Then they explain how to do the how to do the things that we just figured out how to do. Okay, perfecto. Then this makes sense to me. Let me halt and go ahead and start breaking down this setup. And we can start to put together something a little bit more, I don't know, fitting, I guess? I'm not really sure. Let's do the full vein mine for these guys, because I don't want to have to keep on accidentally breaking the wrong block. And then we'll go ahead and break these as well. So let me start to sort of plan out and build out the route that these guys are going to take, because I'm not 100% sure how that's going to work. Honestly, with the greenhouse over here, I feel like I might just make it a separate route or might not even change it at all. Because, frankly, this stuff can just keep running here. I don't really mind it staying here and then just coming over and grabbing what I need. But the iron and the creosote and some of the excess charcoal would be the nicest to have. Now, I wonder how we're doing over here in our buffer line. Hey, we're starting to get... Nope, never mind. False sense of security. Anyways, so yeah, we definitely want to have a way to get the iron and the creosote. And then probably birch logs, I think, would be the biggest one from there, is to have a way to turn all of the excess birch logs that I have over here in this drawer and get access to them. And we could do that with pipes, like with pretty pipes. So I'm not super concerned with like the how we're going to do that, just the route that we're going to need to take. So let me start routing everything out a little bit, because again, this is going to take a pretty significant amount of work to make sure that everything is done correctly. But I think this building here is the main route of where we want to be, which is ideal because that means we can do something just like this, and then run some wires over here, some power over here. And I'm curious to see if the charger even cares about what about how the power is run. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to play with that, but I'm going to do that all off camera because this could get really, not annoying, but definitely could get a little bit difficult to watch. Okay, so I think I have a plan. I think what we're going to do is, rather than trying to get our train to go down, I think we're going to leave it at this one same level this whole way around. So this is what I have set up. I've done a test course. From what I can tell, it will be able to do this whole round on just one charge. And so you can see this is the drop-off station. This is completely temporary. I'm probably going to build up a nice large tank here and just put that directly into the tank and then figure out sort of the rest from there. But at this point, we just have to sort of start figuring out how to import items into our, or how to, not really import, but how to shove items directly into our train. So you can see that there's been a bit of a mess made. It's not that bad, honestly. I think this actually looks pretty cool from the ground level. So if we come down here, this to me looks pretty neat. I like it. I'm starting to feel like there's a bit of lantern spam. I'm a little concerned about that. I don't really know how to resolve it, except maybe to stop using the hanging lanterns so much and maybe just move to like a different kind of lantern altogether. I don't know if there are any like neat lantern types, but we should probably check those out as well from Builder's Delight, because there are a few. We could do like the firefly jars, the copper lanterns. These don't hang off of the side of walls, but honestly, that would be perfectly fine to just put right there. Yeah, that actually looks really good. So we'll probably replace a lot of the lanterns that are hanging with those. That way we're not overdoing it, because I'm starting to feel like we are. A little bit, almost as bad as torch spam is lantern spam. So, I don't know. Let me know what you think, but I think these copper lanterns will definitely do the job. They give the right look to me, at least. So anyways, aside from that, I have kind of figured out what we're going to do. And we're going to have 3 loading stations. And so that's going to be, well, maybe we can consolidate it down to 2. Not really 100% certain yet. And I'll have to play with it a little bit. Right now I'm also a little bit distracted by these lanterns because they do look pretty cool. I just wish they were bigger. And I know that there are also the lanterns from Immersive. These guys. We might look into those as well. But anyways, all points... Oh wait, no, these do hang off the side. That's new. They didn't used to. Or is it that they just hang differently? Maybe it's just that they hang differently. That's cool, though. I did not know that. My bad. My bad. So I've got a couple of thoughts. I think, first of all, it would be easiest to route everything either to one unloading point, which could be around back here, or to do 3. And I haven't really decided yet if it would be easiest to do 1 or 3. I think I'm just going to do the 1. And I'm thinking I'm probably just going to do it probably right here, because I think that would just be the cleanest setup for us possible. So what we can do is we can have a setup... So I'm going to steal birch logs from this connection here, from this area right here. We can just use a depot. So perhaps we will put our hoppers on this side to give us as much space as possible. And then we will just need to route fluids from probably this left fluid tank over here. We can just route it under, down, and up. And that will be, if you'll remember, that is our final tank. And that will go here. And we can just use the wrench from supplementaries to change that out. So it will insert in the top and extract on the side. So we'll need a train car docking rail for all of these, if you'll remember. They all need to be changed in their modes as well, because currently the mode that they're going to go to is the inserting mode, or the mode where it's going to wait for things to get pulled out, and what we want is for them to be set to the orange mode, which is waiting for things to get pushed in. We're going to do this right here to stop our locomotive itself in its tracks, and I have set this up backwards. I need you to go here. I don't have to have the fluid at the very back, but I would definitely rather not have to reconfigure everything all over again at the main base as well. So we'll do something like that. And then, at this point, we should be able to start piping stuff over and up. So what I'm considering is that what we can do is, I don't know if we want to move this or if we would be better off being sneaky and piping out from the bottom. I think we could just do that. And then just route this. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. Our other option is to go out the top, actually. That wouldn't be a bad idea either. I imagine that was probably the block that we had there. And so if we went out the top, we would not be able to... Wait, no, yeah, we could just do it over here and just facade everything. So let's do that. Let's put you back. Oop, let's make sure that it's the right block. We'll do... Whoop, stop. Behave, please. Please. Thank you. So we'll do you there and you there. Right, right. Let's do... you there. It doesn't connect, but honestly, that's fine with me. I think it looks perfectly fine. We could also just replace that with brick, honestly. I don't think it even needs to be all that nice, but we'll play with that. And then all along here, we will do... yeah, we're also going to have to unfacade that anyway. So let's just leave that completely unfacaded for now. And then along here, right, we're going to take these guys and facade those like so. I'm going to wait to do that one because if I remember correctly, we may end up having to do that. Yeah, there we go. And then we put that one there. And that's it. You can't even tell, except for this part, of course, that we're piping out. And right now we're not piping out, but I've got some high extraction modules waiting for us. And then we can just take this piping from here. Right, we don't, it's from the one below it, so we don't even have to remove this one. And we can just run that directly below and into the bottom of that rapid hopper. Like so. I tend to prefer to make fewer bends, so I may actually just do that. That looks fine to me. And so now, if I tell you, we're going to want to grab a block of iron, because I only want to export iron, and it's going to try to export nuggets. I think it just filled up all 5 slots. Let's see if I can remedy that a bit. So if we do that, are you going to start sending iron blocks? You are. Delightful. Perfection. So now we're only going to send over blocks of iron, because that's all I really care about. There's no need to send over nuggets of iron, because we're not going to use those, right? So that will be the run for our iron. Sorry, for our iron. And then we're going to need another one here. Now, I don't know. We're going to play with this. I don't know for sure if we're going to need to filter this. That is for us to find out. And yeah, I know that I'm causing havoc to our exporter, our export upgrade. Maybe if I do that, you'll figure it out. I can't say that I particularly care either which way. Nope, you're gonna... Well, that's a little bit illegal, but fine. I mean, I did that after all anyway, so... So what I'm wondering is, can I... No, I can't because there's already a thing there. Okay. Huh. I guess I didn't want that. Can I put an... Can I do this? This is gonna seem like extra super duper illegal. Because in the past I've not had the best luck with this, but we'll see. But can I do only allow birch logs? Is that going to work? I don't think this should work, but it might. Oh, okay. So yeah, that's just gonna do its thing. And so now that's gonna get us some birch logs. The only problem with this setup is now we're going to have to deal with excess back at home as well, which kind of stinks, but I don't know, it's not really the biggest deal. It does mean, however, like I said, that we're going to have to deal with all the excess fluids and stuff back in the main house base area. And so now, my last question, and we're going to... Don't worry, I know this is going to look kind of dumb, but we're going to fix that up. It said that it could only import on the top, so I'm going to assume that, and this looks cooler to me anyways. We will put in some supports as well to make this look better. But I think at this point we just got to hook everything up and clean everything up visually, because, you know, right now this looks terrible. I think I just got to make that run, which means I'm going to need more iron plates. So let me get that taken care of. I'll be back. Alright, so as you can see, everything seems to be working really well. We have about halfway filled up this tank here. We've got birch logs just spilling through, like always. And I think our little train track here is just running along super duper well. I left this just kind of running for, I don't know, maybe 40 minutes, 30, 40 minutes, just to make sure that everything was working okay, and it seems to be working fantastically. I think this is a really cute little setup too, that, you know, we've got all the trains going, we can kind of just leave everything exactly where it is. And mind you, someday this setup will be outdated. But for now, it's here. It's what we got. It's working really well. So I think, you know, may as well leave it, at least to some degree, right? Yeah, I don't know. To me, this just works well enough. Our creosote tank here, obviously, is pretty much constantly filling up. And we've got a good bit of wood coming through. So I think this is just a pretty dang good setup. So now we have a couple of tasks left for us to do. We need to quickly go through here and set up a way to import from this chest that I put down, because basically this chest is just a placeholder. And what I'd really like to see is I'd really love to put down some trap doors. Let's see, some of these guys. Another chute would be fine. A hopper would also be fine. I don't really know that it matters. And then another chest. I want to test something really quickly too. I don't remember. Chutes are something I'm not very experienced with. If I just throw a stack of rockets into here, those go straight in. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to see. So then we'll just grab an extraction module again. We're going to need another one of these. Let's make this a decently good extraction module. And we'll grab some pipes. And what we'll do is we'll link up one of these pipe segments, probably really any of the pipe segments will work. Yeah, I think pretty much literally any pipe segment should work just fine here. And we should be able to just hook that straight in. So what I might even do is just go something like this. And then what I'd love to see is I'd love to get rid of a lot of this. We'll need more trapdoors, I think. And just have a chute that goes straight into a chest. I did not think that through at all. We'll put a chest right there, so everything will go into the chest. Perfect, good. And then we can just run this straight over. So if we put you there, and extract from there. Now the only thing we're going to need to do before I hook this up is we need to put a void upgrade on our birch drawer, if we don't already have one on there. We do have a birch drawer, right? Do we not? Okay, well, that also needs to be fixed then. So let's grab all of our birch. And let's go ahead and put some of the birch logs in. I don't know, here's fine. Can't believe we didn't have birch already configured. And so now, anytime we end up with a bunch of birch, and it's a bunch of excess, for example, we'll be fine. It's just going to get voided. We're not going to have excess build up, and we're not wasting. And if we end up going back later down the line and changing our minds on how much we want to store up, we can always do that. But now we should see items starting to get pumped out of here. They probably are already gone. And actually, since that system is pressurized, it might be very, very, very gone. I don't really know. So we can triple check that this is working. If I put in, let's see how much iron we have. We have 1,088 iron blocks. So if I put in up here, for example, all of these and then all of those. Everything seems to just be going. And yeah, since everything is pressurized, it is super fast. It'll just shoot straight out of there. And I think I'm going to just clean this up a little bit, like so. This little bench here has been very sacrificed by this setup. I do look forward to replacing this with better technology someday, just for the simple fact that it will make this area look a lot nicer when I do. There's really no other motivation for me to. I love that we're having like little complicated setups put together and stuff. But I'm very well aware of the fact that this is a very well aware of the fact that this is a very, like, you know, complicated setup to do right now with our level of technology. So now we can finally break this. And we should be good to go. And I am just going to put one last protective layer of glass around all of this, just for funsies. It serves no purpose except for aesthetic, but I like it. I think it looks cool. We could even put it along here if we really wanted to, but I don't know if that really makes any sense. Yeah, I don't think that really makes a whole lot of sense. I think just that should be enough. So now we have this little tube where we can come out here and watch our items come through. We have quick access creosote. We don't have to run all the way over there anymore. That's pretty much it. I can't really say that there's a whole lot more for us to do here. That's really the crux of it. That's the majority of it. I think we're good. Let's go and put our window back in. We can always watch our stuff come in from our various infrastructures now, which I think is really cool. We can make sure that our iron went in. Yep, we're at 1,600 iron. 1,600. We have so many iron nuggets that I can't even see how many that is. 131,000. It's a lot. It's a lot of nuggets. So anyways, I think I'm going to take some time, go ahead and end the episode here, and take some time to clean up some of the lights, change them over to the copper lanterns that I really liked. And I did remember one of the shortcuts, or one of the weaknesses actually, shortcoming is the word I was looking for, of the copper lanterns. And that's that they cannot hang from a post like this. They can't hang from a fence post. They have to hang from a solid block, or they have to be placed down straight. So this works as well. Obviously, I think that's probably one of the cooler appearances for it anyway. But yeah, over here we have our guy just kind of working. I think the thing that takes the longest at the moment is definitely the creosote oil and the recharge. But we're already at 170 millibuckets of 170,000 millibuckets of creosote oil, so that's 170 buckets. I think we're getting to be in very good shape. You know, I realize now we're out of food. We're out of food completely. Maybe what I do for the end of this episode is we come up with a new food to eat for a little while. So I can turn beef into minced beef and then into a patty, and we could use a bunch of things to make hamburgers. I think that might not be a bad idea. I really need to set up a meat farm or a cow farm at some point. Let's also get ourselves an extra knife. We have an extra knife. Hang on. I can at least turn on my run speed. That does help a lot. Sharpness. Yeah, sure, that works. And then if we mince this beef and then cook it on the skillet, we should be able to turn our bread into something actually good. So that could be fun. And this will get us about a stack of burgers if I do this right, and burgers will last a really long time. So that's exciting. I think that'll be really cool. So I'm going to go and toss those on there, cook them up, and I'll be back, and then we'll wrap up the episode then. All right, so the rest of our patties are still cooking, but let's go ahead and make ourselves these hamburgers, and that is looking pretty good. So you can see they do a lot of saturation, and they give you a lot of hunger back. I think these are one of the better foods to make. Definitely one of my favorite go-tos, especially in a pack like this, where there's not much else to do outside of Farmer's Delight. I think they're really fun to make, and I think they're really a good purpose for a lot of your different kinds of vegetables that there are going to be. So yeah. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I enjoyed making it. This was a lot of fun to do. I do apologize that this one might be a little bit short. As you noticed, this last week's episodes were all really long, and that took a lot of my time. But unfortunately, this week, I haven't had that time because my wife has been away. So it means that I've been spending a lot of my time with the dog, which isn't a bad thing. Not a complaint in the world for that. But it just means that I cannot leave the dog alone for all that long. Even though she's 8 years old, she can still do a lot of self-harm. So I have to basically just stick around, keep an eye on her, and that means that I don't get to be at my computer quite as long or quite as much before she gets impatient and deserves all the love and time in the world, which I don't always have. So I do apologize. Hopefully next week's videos will be a little longer, and the end of this week's as well. But yeah, that's just sort of the scenario going on right now, and I hope you guys understand. Anyways, I'll see you in the next one, where hopefully we'll have most of these lanterns swapped out. I do really like these copper ones. I think they look good. They look a little small, a little puny with these framed walls, but not that bad, so I think I'm going to leave them, at least for now. We may go back at some point and change them into immersive lanterns, but I think for now these look fine. Anyways, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!